All right, here we go. Now we're on to division of functions. So f divided by g of x, that what that means, because again, that's just notation, that means f of x divided by g of x. And kind of our real requirement that we need to be careful of here is that, hey, now that we're dividing, we need to make sure we don't divide by 0. So again, make sure that g of x doesn't equal 0. Now, this is f of x, again, was x plus 1, and g of x is, what was it, x squared minus 1. And we can factor this out, and we'll get that x squared minus 1, that's the difference of squares, so we have x plus 1 over x plus 1 times x minus 1. X plus 1 divided by x plus 1, that cancels out. And so we're left with, actually put our answer over here, we're left with 1 over x minus 1, and that is f divided by g of x. All right. E. So we've got we finally are getting some composite functions, and this is written kind of in the more literal way of what you're going to be doing. You're going to find g of 2, and then once you find g of 2, you're going to plug that in for x into f of x. So let's write this out. First, this is f of, oops, sorry, let's find what is g of 2. So the g function was x squared minus 1. So g of x, or g of 2 rather, is equal to 2 squared minus 1. So g of 2 is, well, it's 4 minus 1 is 3. Now we're going to take that value and plug it into f of x. So f of 3, because that is what g of 2 is x was, what was x? X plus 1. So 3 plus 1. And we end up with f of g of 2 is equal to 4. All right, so our composite function there. Now, let's go ahead and look at f of g of x, kind of leaving it a little more broad this time. So we've got f of, let me give it a different color here. F of g of x is going to be, remember that means f of g of x. Now let's plug in the g function actually in for the x in f. So the f function was f, I actually write it here on the same line, clear out some space here. All right, this is going to be equal to, well, f's function was x plus 1. But instead of x, we're going to plug in g of x. So I've got f of g of x, that's equal to, instead of x, what was g of x? Well, g of x was x squared minus 1. So I've got x squared minus 1 plus 1. And that gives me, well, x squared minus 1 plus 1 is x squared. And we've been writing it kind of the more literal way, but again, that's f of g of x. I notice that it's an open circle there, and not the dot for multiplying. This is f of g of x. This is composite, not the functions being multiplied together. This is actually the composite. We're plugging in g of x in for x in the f function. All right. Hope this is helping.